Hey everyone, Mark Feldman here from Bang the Drum School. Today I want to talk about another mental exercise that can help your drumming. Today's video is about how asking the question, what if, can become one of the most powerful drumming exercises you can do. You know, most drumming exercises focus on the physical, like technique, stickings, independence, coordination, and these are important, of course, but there's another type of exercise, less common, just as powerful, that expands something even more important than the physical, and that is your imagination. Let's expand that. One of the simplest and most transformative tools you can use to grow creatively is a single deceptively easy question. What if? Now, this question is used constantly by innovators in design, business, tech, and art, but drummers maybe are less likely to apply it in their own playing. And if you do, you may very well open doors that most players will never walk through. So, some what if questions will make you uncomfortable. They might feel too ambitious, too weird, too impractical. Feeling that discomfort is good. It's a sign that you're stepping beyond your habits and comfort zone. That's exactly where creative breakthroughs live. So I'm going to give you some examples of what if questions or prompts. You can treat each one as a creative drumming exercise, a challenge to your assumptions, your technique, your musical identity. These creative drumming exercises that start by asking what if, you can take any of them and explore them for a week, a month. You might find one of these questions will shift your whole direction entirely. So, make up some of your own or use one of these. Here's the beginning. Ready? Here we go. What if? What if you became an open-handed drummer like Simon Phillips or Billy Cobham? Your entire coordination framework would change instantly. What if you used 3 hi-hats and no ride cymbal? What kind of new textures or phrasing ideas for your grooves or soloing would you discover? What if you could play eighth note triplets cleanly between your left foot, left hand, and right foot while holding eighth notes, maintaining eighth notes with your right hand? What if your single stroke roll had the power and precision of Tony Williams or Chris Coleman? And what training regimen would you use to get there? What if you could play 16th notes with your left hand at quarter note equals 145? What doors would that open for your groove or your soloing? What if you transcribed your favorite drum solo note for note, stole your favorite ideas, and then reshaped them into your own voice? What if your matched and traditional grips were equally refined and effortless? What if you incorporated electronics into your setup in a truly personal way? Not just pads, but like an integrated hybrid concept unique to you. What if you used 2 16-inch crash cymbals as your hi-hats? What if you played double bass with 2 18-inch bass drums? What if you formed your own band specifically to play the music that you hear in your head, the music that will make you sound the best or most exciting for you to play? What if you arrange your toms left to right, 13, 12, 10, 16, 18? What would that change do for your fills, or how would that change your muscle memory? What if you stopped listening to drummers altogether and drew your inspiration only from pianists or composers, bassists, singers? What if you transcribed that random rhythmic cycle that your washing machine makes and used it in a groove or in a solo? What if your left foot could play an ostinato-like and fill in the blank here? And what if you could play anything against that ostinato? So those are some examples. Why does this work? Well, it works because traditional drumming exercises strengthen the body, and these exercises strengthen the imagination, right? So asking what if disrupts the autopilot mode that drummers often fall into, like always setting up their gear the same way, practicing the same patterns, listening to the same players, staying within familiar genres, playing what makes sense instead of what's possible. So challenging your assumptions, by doing that, you widen your musical vocabulary, you break your habits, you discover ideas you'd never stumble upon by accident. And in many cases, one bold what if becomes the spark that changes everything, right? Like think about Horatio Hernandez in Left Foot Clave. He must have thought what if before he did that, right? He might have been the first person to do that. And if so, he had to go through some kind of thinking exercise like this. And you know what happened when he came on the scene, everyone freaked out. So choose one what if and make it real. You know, don't try to tackle a lot of these, but choose one idea that excites you or scares you and turn it into your next drumming exercise. Commit to exploring it deeply. And whether it becomes a technique breakthrough or a new sound or a whole new musical identity for your playing, you'll grow because you dare to ask a simple question. What if? And that's how great ideas can turn into great achievements. I hope you found this interesting or helpful. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. Check out my book, Drumming Decoded. Check out bangthedrumschool.com. Mark Feldman signing off. I'll see you next time.